Hello. All right. Oh, wait, hold on. I can return. Hello. So we have unfortunately had to mute the music because the music is copyrighted, but we're here today to try the demo of Save the Villainess. I really do hope the music is better though. When we actually do come out. So let us start. Feels very weird without the music, to be fair. Oh, here we go. Sounds. Dun dun. Okay. Oh, I had to click. I'm dumb. Shall we begin? Yes. What is your season of birth? Winter. We will go with winter. One who is born in winter sees the dead more clearly. After all, bodies last longer in the cold. Regardless of your unfortunate birth, we must move onwards. Wow! What is that? Do you feel that something is lacking? You would like some way to make this more about you? Very well, your tastes are the highest priority. What is your food of choice? Pudding. No capitals or spaces allowed. What shall I food? I can't say people, unfortunately. Um, butter. No, hold on. Cheesecake. A texture that yields to the mouth and a subtle flavor. It is true that people do not always reflect their tastes. Okay. You have exquisite taste in your mouth anyway. Wow! Feel judged. Were you expecting more questions? I was actually. More focus on your desires. That time has passed after all. Yours is not the only story. Not the only story, okay? The only story, okay? Your story. Yes, my story. Chapter 1. Wheel of Fortune. Oh god, do not make me spin a wheel. The purpose of existence is that one should become conscious. Carl Jung. Jung? Jung? Carl. Oh, hello, boys. Emperor. What would you wish the world to be shaped by? Collaboration, justice. Collaboration. So you wish to work by consensus. Take care which voices you value and which you ignore. Oh, the teacup went away. Oh, hello. Let's go to this fellow. Oh, never mind. We're going here. What do you do when faced with a challenging problem? Create your own path, obviously. There are more ways to solve a problem if you have no restrictions, if you do not mind what other problems are created with along the way. I utterly read that wrong. Oh, teacup's gone there too. Hello, last fellow. Hi. Which is more important to you? To find love through forgiveness, to love yourself and your own strength. Definitely love yourself. Loving and respecting yourself can help you overcome many trials. Are you willing to extend that love and respect to others as well? I mean, it really depends on the person, though. Save the villainess. Okay. What if I don't wish to be saved? What if I just wish to run away by myself? Oh, hello. I'm gorgeous. Where am I? Who am I? And why am I in a strangely moving carriage? A strangely moving carriage with comfortable seat cushions. Very comfortable seat cushions. No, I will not be distracted. Why do I not remember anything? After all, while I know that I sleep soundly, this entire situation is very strange. Hold on, I do remember something. I know that I sleep soundly. Unfortunately, that is not exactly the most useful knowledge to remember. Perhaps I can recall something else if I think deeply. I'm just casually like bleeding from the neck right here. Like, it's fine, bro. What else do I remember? I know that I can catch feet fish with amazing dancing skills. What? Okay. But this fact is not going to be useful to me right now. What do you mean feet fish? I have more immediately important things I need to remember. For one, what kind of person was I? Why am I travelling somewhere in a slow-moving carriage on the lush, comfortable yet oddly ominous cushions? And why is my neck so sore? My love, we are bleeding furiously right now from my neck. If I reach up to touch it... You're bleeding. Oh. Lots of blood. Well, now I have another question. I mean, personally, I would have many questions if this was me. Why is my hand covered in blood when I touch my neck? I wonder. Is someone trying to kill me right now? Are these incredibly large cushions murder weapons? I doubt they're murder weapons. Why do I know how to murder someone with a cushion? I have to calm down. If I'm going to survive and determine what is happening, I have to be serene. Which is hard to do when my neck is covered in blood. Look, I am with you 100% right now. Serene. Think serene thoughts. At least my head is still attached to my strangely sore neck. Oh. Apparently it wasn't at one point. Because apparently I know what it would be like to have my head not be attached to my neck. Oh, like how, because apparently wasn't the key word we were both thinking of. This is not helping my serenity. Serene. I am serene. I have a head. I hope so. I have a neck. They are delightfully connected. I have to keep my head. Losing my head would be fatal, figuratively and literally. I am vulnerable, injured, and cannot remember anything remotely useful. I need to find some information that can help me. Even if this carriage is moving very strangely, something has to be making it move. I can hear the horses pulling it, and if horses are pulling it, something must be guiding them. So if I yell out the window... That is odd. The window does not appear to be open. Open it. Perhaps if I yell loudly, the driver will hear me. Hello, Mr. Carriage Driver. Could you please tell me where we're going? He is not answering me. Well, if the driver is not doing his job properly, I suppose he would choose not to answer me. So I have realized with my extensive memory of about 10 minutes, if you want to get something done, do it yourself. So what should I investigate first? Oh, you again. So you need a little additional assistance. One might even say help. As always, I live to serve. For certain definitions of serve and live, capturing hearts, a guide. Capturing, oh, it's crossed out. The Villainess Survival Guide, an instructional manual. Is that black foggy stuff again? Yeah. It's coming for us. Congratulations, you have found yourself in possession of one villainess. In order to help your villainess succeed, you will need to know the following information. Night, day, strange time love, raise or lower love, deduction, correct or failed choice, tips and tricks. Symbols to guide your choices. The moon represents nighttime. It is harder to see in the nighttime. Also, people are more likely to try to murder you. On the positive side, at least your terrifying nightmares and heartfelt conversations with potential murderers might be useful. The sun represents daytime. Many clues are easy to find if there is light and people are awake to speak with you. Not all clues are helpful. Not all people tell the truth. The narrator will not be responsible for any injury, irritation, emotional complications, or prolonged rashes that result from gathering clues. The combination of the sun and the moon represents an unusual time. Sometimes one's villainess might encounter a time that is neither night nor day. Strange things might happen when time is no longer in effect. Stranger than taking advice from a talking book. You be the judge. Symbols to guide your choices. The heart represents a love choice. One cannot buy love, but one can decide whether they wish to gain love or to lose it. Do you want your villainess? Do you want something else? Should you care about impending murder than manipulating emotions? The red heart represents an affection-raising choice. Is your dream to find love? When a love choice is made and you see red hearts rise into the air, love is being increased. Truly, love is all you need. So as long as you do not care about pesky details like staying alive. The blank heart represents an affection-lowering choice. Do you hate romance? When a love choice is made and you see a black heart break and fall, love is being decreased. There are few things more satisfying than reveling in another's misery. Let them eat little cakes. The magnifier represents a deductive choice. Do you like solving mysteries? Oh no, I skipped it. Wait, what? Oh no, hold on, return. Ah, there we go. Do you like solving mysteries? Whether you do or not, you must survive. If you make the incorrect deductive choices, your villainess will face a terrifying ending. But perhaps there are things only you can learn when all hope is lost. The purple butterfly represents a correct deduction choice. Do you like being right? When a deduction choice is made and you see a purple butterfly fly upwards, you made the correct deduction. You can then bask in smug satisfaction until the next murder attempt. The red butterfly represents a failed deduction choice. Do you enjoy failure? When a deduction choice is made and you see a red butterfly downwards, you made a deduction that will lead to failure. However, some failed deductions will have unusual consequences, if you do not mind the risk of death. Should you wish to receive fewer direct clues from me and no longer hearts or butterflies after your choices, you can choose to act as a detective rather than view this as a story. You can make this within the transformation. Oh, you can make this transformation within settings. Please, Yomi, learn how to pronounce and enunciate words. I'm terrible at this. No one judge me. If you have previously visited, you also have the control to skip through this tale. I hope my service is as subtle as you are. There may be other hints and tricks for you to discover, but only if you can find a way to save the villainess. Congratulations, you have okay. Okay. Exit. Should you wish to revisit assistance or read further notes, use. You may seek me at any time of the... Okay. Solve the mystery. Write the story. Save the villainess. Okay. Wait, do you believe you already know it all? No. Let us hope for your own sake that you are knowledgeable as you believe you are. So what should I investigate first? Cushions. Cushions cannot be this beautiful and this terrifying without having secrets hidden in them. Are we ripping them open? I will find everything you are hiding from me, even if I have to rip you apart by hand. Um... The cushions are unmoved. Okay. Can we attack them again? No? They loom ominously. Okay. Oh? The cushions are too ominous! Did we just get defeated by cushions? We got defeated by cushions. Okay, so we got defeated by cushions. Good to know. I have been defeated by cushions. Perhaps there is something I can learn from this experience. Don't fight inanimate objects. These cushions must be wildly expensive. Like this carriage, its ornaments enough gold to fund a small nation. Whoever I am, I know when there is something expensive, even though based on my condition, I am not an expensive person. Oh, I disagree. Therefore, this is not my beautiful carriage. This is not my beautiful ride. This carriage belongs to a wealthy owner, someone I do not remember taking me to a place I do not know. Yet why would this owner of an expensive carriage want to provide comfort to me? Maybe he's just kidnapping you, it's fine. The cushions are a trap. I am being taken from where I was harmed. I was injured, ragged, and about one gust of wind from being blown away into the sky before getting on this carriage. I was not well enough to sneak onto this carriage, and I could not have gotten in here by accident. Another reason I could not have sneaked into this carriage is that even though the driver does not seem to care about me, he must know I'm here. I even called out to him. That means no one has deliberately placed me in this carriage and on these cushions. Oh, someone, or no one. Oops. The person who brought me here, my patron, did not treat my injuries or provide me with new clothes or a bath, but perhaps they thought the cushions would cure me. We are obsessed with these cushions. Would anyone notice if I took cushions with me when I left? They're the only... Oh my god. What should I investigate? Outside. Surely I can learn something useful from where we're travelling, so let us see what the curtains are hiding. A forest. Opening the curtain and staring outside the window was not my most useful idea. There are many trees, but even with those strangely flickering lights, it is too foggy and dark to see much of anything else. including the front of the carriage. But someone must be driving me. There must be something very strange about the way we are moving. The carriage is moving so slowly that I cannot feel the ground moving beneath us. It almost feels as if we're going back and forth in the same place. The driver has also never spoken to me, even when I yelled to get his attention. Should I be concerned? As beautiful as this carriage is, it obviously belongs to someone with a lot of money. I do not seem like the person who would own this carriage, and the driver is not treating me as if I am paying his wages. Servants listen to the person who is paying them. If the driver is not listening to me, then we are fucked. He might not have my best interests in mind. So what should I investigate? Well, I definitely will not be able to find anything in my pockets. This dress feel like it would have looked very pretty when it wasn't ripped and torn. Because I do not appear to have pockets. Unfortunately, this dress is even more mysterious than the lack of pockets. Why is someone riding in this beautiful carriage wearing something like this? The biggest mystery is, how did I not become naked trying to walk in... Oh, my lord. Because it seems to potentially be tightly fitting? How are these rags staying on my body? Because again, it's potentially tightly fitting around certain areas. Parts of it are ripped, but not all of it. Still, I need to solve my immediate problem. Why am I riding this fancy carriage while wearing this dissolving outfit? This dress looks like something that has survived numerous attempts to destroy it, and then it was used to birth several puppies. Hungry puppies. You have very unusual analogies. My head also hurts. Was I in this dress when attacked by hungry puppies? Was that something from one of the books I used to read? So apparently I read. That is probably useful to know. In fact, this dress looks like something a beggar from a book would wear. But when I look closer, this dress appears to have been once very beautiful. This was not cheaply made. This dress also appears to have been damaged not just by wear, but by force. The dress I have has also not been washed for weeks based on the overwhelming smell. I mean, it could have just been a bad night. People do have those. If I am in this fancy carriage, why could I not change out of this ragged dress? What happened to me? I could not change because I was a prisoner. Based on the original quality of the dress, this was not made for someone who was poor. This dress was made for a wealthy woman. Why is it in such a terrible condition? Was I kept in a place where I could not clean myself or change into something else? A place like a prison? I certainly feel tired and hurt enough to have been imprisoned. Hopefully, I'm not being moved from one prison to another. Even more importantly, I hope that wherever this carriage is going, they will allow me to wash myself and my dress. Although I'm not sure if either of us will survive water at this point. The dress certainly would not. So what should I investigate? I know I was injured earlier and had blood on both my right hand and neck. Perhaps I can learn more by looking closely at my hands. My head also feels like it was split in two, and I want to know why. A good place to start would be for me to find the source of the blood that was on my hands when I touched my head and neck. So let me see if my right hand has any clues for me. This does not make any sense. There was blood on my hand. I know there was. I was actually wondering what happened to that blood. I just need to touch my neck again. Oh no, there's no blood. This is bizarre. Not only is the blood without a source, there is no longer seems to be any blood at all. I cannot feel any injuries. I cannot even detect any bandages or stitches to stop the bleeding I felt. Even the blood was there earlier is gone now. My hand and neck are completely clean. Even if I could heal in minutes, the blood on top of the wound would still be there. I do not understand what is happening, but I do have another hand. Perhaps that hand will not betray me. So what does my left hand have to offer? Well, this hand has no blood on it, imaginary or otherwise. I have neither calluses nor scarring. I have also never dug dirt with these nails. These are not the hands of someone who spent a lot of time using them for anything other than gesturing. I feel as if whoever I am liked crooking fingers up ever. Well, I feel as if whoever I am liked crooking fingers at people. Okay. The finger crooking muscle is well developed. I've never heard that before. But why is there a faded circle around the bottom of my fourth finger? I assumed that is a ring, because that is left hand, that is marriage. That is the marriage finger. See? Marriage finger. That is the ring finger. I recently have removed a long worn ring. Why would I have a ring mark on the fourth finger of my left hand unless... Was I engaged? Married? Unless this is the plot of a very naughty book, I am sure that a lover would not have tossed me half naked and injured into a carriage by myself. I don't know, I've read a few of those books. At the very least, one would think I would still have a ring or some sign of their support. I am deeply afraid that the taste of my lovers was very much like the taste of my body right now. They both stink, probably. So what should I investigate? Well, when I investigate my body, my feet hurt enough for me to wonder whether or not they are still attached. The good news is that my feet are still attached to the rest of my body. The bad news is that there is definitely a reason for my feet to be hurting. We're not looking at your feet. Oh, there we go. Oh, bound marks. Okay, so you were bound by the ankles. I hate disrespecting the ominous cushions, but this is the only place with enough light to see my feet. Unfortunately, not on my feet filthy. There is strange consistent bruising around my ankles. Yes, from chains. And there's blood. The bruises hurt and seem to be recent based on the colours. How did I get a ring of bruises around my ankles? Chains. You were cuffed. Seems to be a very logical explanation. Okay. No matter how hard I grip my ankles, I could not possibly create this kind of damage. This looks like something was attached to my ankles. Something that was heavy and hard enough to badly bruise them. Was I shackled? Yes. What happened to me? More importantly, how did someone with heavy shackles on their ankles manage to get out of those shackles? So what would be the one job I could have that would allow me to be in and out of shackles regularly? If I'm a failed magician, I'm going to be very angry. So what should I investigate? Can I investigate the door? I have realized. No more choices for you. I have learned my lesson. Left to your own devices, you will choose to fight the cushions. I must find a way to convince you to make better choices. No, not the concept of knowing what you're doing. Do you understand what this is? yes. This is a lock. Lock. What does a lock do? Yes, it locks in case one of your options is locked. Because of your previous terrible choices, the path would proceed to a better future is closed to you. Should you make clever choices, or rather if the villainess makes clever choices, a better path will be unlocked and available. Will you lock yourself into a story you most wanted to hear, or can you open yourself to the truth? I have realized I am in serious danger. While I might not remember my name, I certainly remember remember power. Unfortunately, I also know that I currently have none. I was injured in prison, lost a long-term engagement or marriage, and I'm currently traveling to an unknown location surrounded by ominously comfortable cushions. I am obsessed with cushions. Everything is about the cushions. However, this is not how I always lived. I was obviously once wealthy. My clothes are still only attached to my body because they were made of fine, expensive material. How else could they survive both prison and hungry puppies? Oh, whoops, I right-clicked again. On the literal hand, my poor fingers have obviously never faced a choice more serious than which servant to crook my pointer finger at before I wound up here. So how did I go from luxury to misery to this beautiful carriage after my investigative genius? I can safely say it's because I used to be with someone with wealth and spectacular taste in lace. Yet I was somehow imprisoned by powerful enemies, possibly because they were offended by my sense of style. However, someone with even more power and greater respect for lacework rescued me out of prison and placed me in their expensive carriage. This is information I can use to survive. Or at least I could use this information if I were not trapped in a carriage ride to nowhere with a driver who refuses to speak to me. I just need a moment to think. You have a moment to think. Jump out the window. Eat yourself. Oh, the style of the art changed. I guess now we can see the bruises better. I could have sworn I saw a light in the window. Am I imagining things? For a moment, I felt real and less like a creature lost in a dream. More importantly, was that light someone coming to meet the carriage? That gives me an idea. I know that patron who pulled me out of prison had the power to rescue me and put me in this gold-lined carriage. This means my patron must have both money and political power. If only I could borrow some of my patron's power, a power that people obviously respect. Oh, creepy squeaky noises. Is the carriage stopping? I have a bad feeling about what the driver is planning to do by stopping in the middle of nowhere with no destination in sight. I have no way to protect myself with my dissolving dress and unmovable yet ominous cushions, so I will have to find some other kind of power. With apologies to the revolution, I am going to have to use the most ancient path to power. Name dropping the most powerful person I know. Thank goodness you are here, Mr. Driver. I am glad you came by to speak to me about speeding up the pace of our journey. After all, what the fuck was that? When I look out the window, I can see the light of my patron ahead. My patron is obviously impatient with how slowly we are traveling. At this rate, my patron will be there before we even reach the front of the carriage again, and that would be unfortunate for you. If you do not drive me to where I am meant to go immediately, I am worried that my patron might be upset with you. After all, I do not wish any harm to come to you. Power to the workers who make this country and this carriage run. Did it work? So far, so good. I knew name dropping the owner of the carriage was the way to survive. The rights of the working class are very important, but sometimes you need to have the power to purchase large carriages to make things happen. Finally, I am getting somewhere. Perhaps this time I shall even remain conscious. Why is it the sound's getting different? The purpose of existence is that one should become conscious. Carl Jean. I still don't know how to pronounce the last name, unfortunately. Chapter 2. The Tower. There is no coming to consciousness without pain. Okay. We're going to the tower. Romance. Love. Betrayal. Deception. Disgrace. Evil as plain as the scar on his face. Deception and outrage. I didn't read that. What is this? What is that? Villainess? Romance, love, betrayal. Happy ever after? There are so many stories that can take you on journeys to your dreams and nightmares. You imagine yourself to be the heroine in every one of them. Yes. Because I am the heroine, I am wonderful. Do you remember your sanctuary from a cruel and unforgiving world? Do you remember the hours spent reading until your eyes were so dry you could no longer weep? So many charming stories featuring swooning sweethearts who could overcome all obstacles to their love. You have spent countless hours with perfect princes, icy northern dukes, and charming childhood friends. I want my icy northern dukes, thank you very much. They are on point. But it is easy enough to leave a story hanging. Can you do the same with your own life? Can you walk away when you are trapped in the story? Yes. You may not have realized, but you are trapped in a take you once knew well. With the power to write your own story, what would you want for yourself? Power, love, or something else entirely? I want my Northern Duke! You are alone and you do not know who or what you can trust. Do you seek to keep the isolation, or will you take the risk to reach out? Above all else, a single wrong choice, a moment of inappropriate hesitation, and you will not live to leave this cursed story. If you would protest that sweet story should not have such danger, remember that not everyone in such takes can be loved by the creators. In the magic of storytelling, for the heroine to succeed, there must be something to succeed against. If there is the heroine, there must also be a villain or a villainess. However, the devil is in the details. All hope is not lost. Perhaps you can shine a light on what is wrong with this world. What is the balance between your sins and your glory? Trust your judgment, or be weighed as undeserving. Shall we remember the take you have forgotten? Shall it end as it began? The story awaits. Meow. Once upon a time, there was a lovely heroine who wanted to be loved. Her golden locks and deep blue eyes showed that she was worthy of the kind of devotion that could only be found in dreams. Though she was but a commoner in a land of noble magicians, her power and beauty made her a flower rising out of the filth of her birth. Oh, look, it's this one. All those who knew this heroine told her how special she was, and that she was destined to find love with one as special as herself. Yet her beloved was engaged to a wicked noblewoman. Could the heroine capture her beloved's heart? No, whoops. And win their happily ever after? First, the heroine had to overcome the most terrifying of opponents, her beloved's fiancé. The villainess. Oh, so basically the heroine tried to break... The heroine was a homewrecker. Oh, that was my fiancé though. What the fuck? How rude. Does it feel as if you're getting nowhere? There are many stories, many truths in this world. This is the one you need to know now. Lady Jane Neville, who would have thought? Is that a judge? Judge, order! I will have order in this court. I am presiding over this trial and I will have order. Oh my god, look how pretty I am. See, I knew it. That dress was gorgeous. But how pretty. Oh, even my eyeshadow. Oh god, I am gorgeous. Lady Jane Neville, you stand accused of harassing a promising and productive citizen of the great kingdom of Carcosa? Carcosa. We'll go with Carcosa. Do you believe yourself to be above the law? Do you understand the seriousness of your situation? You have no defenders. There are no supporters to speak for you, and your fiancé has... If I might interrupt. Not until the verdict is pronounced. This is an impartial... I can't read. This is an impartial court. Lady Jane must be sentenced to execute... I insist. As the fiancé of Lady Jane Neville, I invoke my legal right to speak to her fate. Proceed. Does the court truly wish to make such a quick decision on her fate? To truly reflect on and understand her actions, she must be removed from this situation. I call for exile. Fuck you, bitch. Oh no, he could be calling to exile to try and like find evidence to support me and defend me. We'll go with that because this is the guy we're marrying. Order! I will have order! By his right and laws of Carcosa, the fiancé of Lady Jane Neville has determined her sentence. Lady Jane Neville is hereby condemned to exile. So all this time, you were the one who planned this. My fiancé. My beloved. My betrayer. Damn. At least I'm gorgeous, though. Exile for one without support is death. The same as execute. No. It's a guillotine. How attached are you to your head, my lady? Quite frankly, very. Oh, fudge, I keep doing that. What in the name of bad romance authors was that? Look, I am with you, my love. I think I just barely survived a potential murder attempt from my silent carriage driver. Was that the murder attempt connected to my dream? My dream that I became the villainess in a terrible romance novel that I do not remember reading? That would explain why I am rag-covered amnesiac who has a strong understanding of guillotines. Obviously, a brilliant woman like me would normally play the role of the heroine, but someone must have decided that the villainess could use my investigative genius. This all means that I am currently trapped in the body of Lady Jane Neville, a woman whose name has evil written right into it. So, if I want to survive, I must I must use my investigative genius to determine who wants to get rid of Lady Jane. Her fiancé and his new girlfriend. Is everybody an answer? However, if that dream is true, then Lady Jane was mostly loathed by the heroine and Lady Jane's fiancé for being in the way of their romance. I call for exile! Based on that dream, Lady Jane's fiancé obviously wanted her to die miserably in exile, only to have his plans foiled by a patron who broke Lady Jane out of prison. Who are these people? How could a high-ranking noblewoman like Lady Jane Neville be imprisoned for bullying in the first place? Who cares? The important thing is that I find a way to survive this bad romance, once I remember who my allies and my enemies are. Serene. I am serene. I am much smarter and better looking than any terrible writer of adulterous romances. I am now Lady Jane Neville, and I will stop any murderous fiancé with both subtlety and my knowledge of bad romance novels. I just need to get out of this carriage first. I did not mean that I wanted to leave that quickly. Am I meant to leave here? Sure, the driver cannot behave that suspiciously a second time. I have so enjoyed our conversations, Mr. Driver. I will miss them wherever it is I'm going. Out the door we go. Wherever, so my feet are going to hurt more. Got it. Somehow this view is even less appealing than when I saw it through the window. Wait, are you planning to leave me here? Wherever here is? What am I meant to do now? Hope for enlightenment? Fine then, let there be light. Oh shit, that worked. It's a bird. There goes the crow. Well, that was not at all ominous. This place is not at all suspicious or murderous. No, we're fine. What next? Will the dead now call for me? Come closer. Yes. Yes, it will. The dead will call for you. Dun dun dun! Oh, hello. He looks very neatly dressed. Oh, yeah, shiny buttons. This is not my Duke of the North, though. Ah, that is much better. I've been waiting for you, Lady Jane Neville. Welcome to the house. So that confirms that the dream was real. I am trapped in the body of a villainess with amazing hair and poor taste in men. Why is that accurate, though? It is reassuring to know that someone in this story is both polite and willing not to instantly murder me. Yet, if I am currently this story's villainess, how much can I truly trust this person? If I have 1,000 questions to go with my new name, but I cannot afford to ask any questions unless I am very careful. I keep right-clicking. I must be clever, calm, and in control. I must find the perfect way to respond to this servant's welcome. This is a lovely house. Do people often survive the night here? Yes, for certain definitions of survive. That is very comforting. If by comforting I mean afraid this is yet another person out to murder me for Lady Jane's past villainy, maybe I should see if I can suddenly learn their identity. I assume we'll be spending some time together. What should I call you that will not make you want to murder me? I am they who serves. I assume you don't want to want me to call for they who serves when I'm trying to survive the night here. If you are unable to translate serve into a name, servant will serve both of us. Maybe clever is an impossible goal for me right now. So instead I should say something that sounds like I am perfectly normal non-villainess who knows how not to be suspicious. If this person is dressed as a servant and I'm supposed to be a noble lady, I should say... This happens to. This has been a difficult night. May I have a bed, a hot meal, and an entirely new life, not necessarily in that order? I am currently unable to grant permission for soul transfers, but I am disappointed in your lack of ambition. If you must plead for permission, why not request a new world as well as a new life? Can I request a new world then, one without so much exile and adultery? You can request whatever you wish. So I'll get a new world if I ask for it. No. Are you paid to be mysterious? Not at all. I freely provide that service. I love this man. I love the servant. I am unsure if you're just being mysterious or if you're trying to delay before we enter the manor. Time is a terrible thing to waste. Shall we proceed? Let us see this charming house. I hope that it and you will meet all my needs. There is both what you need and what you believe you need. The house and I will provide one of these things. Welcome, Lady Jane. May you find what you seek. After you. I love this man. Dun dun dun. Dun dun dun. Oh, hello. Have I done an upsetty? You startled me. People come and go so quickly around here. People come and go as they must. Whether it is fast or slow is a matter of perspective. Stop right there! Have you noticed that yet that your perspective is not the same? Yes. Of course you've not. Let me try to simplify things. This is Jane. If you move, Jane will move too. See Jane move. There will be moments where the perspective changes and you'll be able to see things more clearly. Should you look around, you will discover things that might have been hidden or not. If there are voices blocking what you can see, you can hide them from view while you explore. Oh! Pay attention. Find what is hidden above all else. Save the villainess. People come and go as they must. Whether it's fast or slow is a matter of perspective. Your speed is obviously something that cannot be measured by feelings, much like time. Much like time. What the fuck was that? What the fuck? Obviously, I will not be speeding to the bedroom to rest if I cannot stop around in circles, both literally and figuratively. So what can I say to move things forward? So this house, this is the house. As you can see, my lady, there are no other houses here. We will say this one. Thank you. Therefore, this is the house. Certainly, how everything about this situation is perfectly logical. However, can you tell me something useful? Why is the house alone? Why is the house alone? Is it shy? Did the other houses vanish into the fog? These are all excellent ideas, my lady. None of them are correct, but the ideas are excellent. Ideas are priceless, my lady. Should you keep several spare ideas at all times, you will be well rewarded. I have no idea what I know or do not know at this point. I need to find some information that will help me stay safe while living as Lady Jane Neville. I also need to find a way to earn this servant's trust so that they will support me against my murderous former fiancé. Maybe subtle flattery might help convince them to support me. It will not. This is a very lovely house that obviously does not always kill people under mysterious circumstances. I have said as much. I wish more people would appreciate the beautiful of Hardwood. Well, I appreciate Hardwood. I can definitely look around and see how wonderful this house is. For instance, this perfectly normal ceiling. There is nothing strange about having a wall paneling wainscot on it. Normal manors often have heavy wooden panels on their ceilings that might unexpectedly fall down at a moment's notice. That is correct, my lady. Though I suggest you be careful where you stand. Good to know. Why? Is that a secret of the house? Does it destroy people by dropping unexpected wainscoting from the ceiling? That is most certainly a matter of timing and is always relative. For all the servants speak of time being relative, I feel that it is running out for me. So what can I do to extend the clock and learn what I need in order to protect myself? Perhaps I will learn more if I suddenly show the servant I am trustworthy. Speaking of timing, you can tell me anything at any time. I am very trustworthy. Ah, how wonderful that you are very trustworthy. In which case, the secret of the house, yes, is that we barely have the wainscoting under control. What? It is very difficult to tend to places beyond my reach. I am both ashamed and impressed that you notice my inability to serve. This is beyond my ability to respond. Look, I feel that, my guy. Wait, ignoring their obsession with wainscoting, servant said we. This is my chance to discover something useful. That is not the only thing I have noticed. I mean, other than you, myself, and the wainscoting? Very clever, my lady. The inhabitants of this house vary, but they will become clearer as you decide. So there are other people in this house. I knew that the light in the carriage window meant that someone was there. So does that mean my patron is here, or is it someone else entirely? Is my former fiancé lurking in the wainscoting while preparing to murder me? Either way, I had better make sure my servant is on my side and not tempted by lurking fiancés. Well, no one else here could possibly be as remarkable as you. Oh, my lady, in several hundred years your bones will grow flowers as lovely as your long decayed flesh. Oh, my lord. Thanks! On second thought, I hope I meet some of the other inhabitants soon. I hope that my honesty does not confuse you. No, it threatens me. I am not sure if I ever stop being confused. However, I do appreciate you answering my questions. Unfortunately, all servants' answers raise even more questions. I have just realized that I had no memory of this person when I arrived at the house. I just know that they were a servant and treated them accordingly. When they called me lady, it felt natural to give them orders. Yet who was servant in the original novel? Was servant someone important to the tale or just one of the unnamed background characters? Surely, even if I was Lady Jane and could remember her past, Lady Jane could be forgiven for not remembering the name of a single servant, no matter how familiar they are with me. Unless they were her childhood nanny, her very young-looking childhood nanny. So on a completely unrelated note, how do you feel about babies? They eat almost as voraciously as rats at a corpse. Oh my lord. I no longer want to know if servant was Lady Jane's childhood nanny. I appreciate your colourful descriptions. Do you know what else I would appreciate? The secret to controlling ominous cushions? No, well, actually yes, but I would like to first get some sleep. Surely there must be some place in this house that is not covered in wainscoting. Well, surely there must be some place in this house that has a bed tucked in between the wainscoting. In that case, there is a room that might be of use to you. At this point, if it's full of neither wainscoting or ominous cushions, I want you to lead me to it. I live to serve. Shall we indulge your taste now, my lady? Yes, please. I am definitely ready for something to taste. Who will? Hello? Oh, it glitched. Nearly there, my lady. For some definitions of nearly, and there. It feels as if there should be more rooms on this side of the manor, yet there is only one door. This does not match the windows I saw from the outside. Even the lights I saw from the outside did not match the lights inside, and then once I came inside, those candles were slowly lit up by themselves. However, at this point, I'll be grateful if there is not one giant pit I must cross to reach the bed. Is this the bedroom where I'll be staying? There's a blonde woman in the background with purple eyes and an evil smirk. Oh, that's unfortunate. Oh. Of course, unless you prefer the hallway. Pardon me? Well, it is a beautiful hallway. You are welcome to stay in it as long as you like. So as long as you do not mind what comes out of the wallpaper when you close your eyes. Serene. I am serene. I am serene. Ah, serenity. I wonder what that feels like. Oh, me too. Now that we have something in common, I should ask Servant a question to be better understand what is happening in this house. After all, I am supposed to be trapped in a bad romance, not in a horror novel. Yet it is clear that there is something very odd about this manor, or perhaps about Servant. To help me become serene, I have something I need to know. Why is this house so unusual? Perhaps it is the other houses that are unusual and this house is as it should be. No, I'm very sure that this house is the problem. That is true. The house is both the problem and the solution. Perhaps more of a problem due to the lock situation. What lock situation? When there are locks, sometimes one can get locked out of rooms. If you get locked out of a room, are you not supposed to speak calmly? Since communication is key? You're as witty as you are lovely. Oh my god, thank you. I'm not sure whether or not I was just insulted. However, the only thing worse than being insulted is having to ask whether or not you're insulted. So, as I definitely understood your clever words, I'm now ready to sleep and think about how clever you were. What a coincidence. I'm ready to stay awake and think about the same thing. Well, I am ready to make my chances with whatever is beyond that door. Then, while the evening is spread out against the sky, let us go. Dun dun dun. After you, my lady. Oh, it actually looks quite pretty. Too many windows, though. Oh, I hit right click again. So the bed is placed against the wainscoting. Were the builders unable to stop creating wainscoting long enough to make a space for somewhere to rest? Rest is temporary. Wainscoting is eternal. That seems like a design decision that will cause problems when wainscoting starts to fall on people just trying to sleep. As I said, rest is temporary until it becomes eternal. Well, temporary or not, I need some rest, although I would like to bathe first. While the thick coat of dirt and bruise might match the decorating here, I do not want to sleep in this charming outfit. Oh. It appears I have another concern as well. Based on the noise of my stomach, I need something to fill my hunger. The bath has been prepared and food is available to consume while you wash. Still, while the bath is available, I will not be joining you. What? I cannot provide for all your appetites and needs. Excuse you? Excuse me? You're excused. Still, you will need to clean your body and thoughts on your own. Good evening, my lady. May you wake from your dreams. I am now afraid that if I blink, the room will disappear as my servant did. I must find the bath before this happens. The room looks as if if a depressed brothel made it with an army of wood paneling. Where could a bath possibly be hidden in this space? That makes both more and less sense than I expected. How did they even fit a bath in? You know what? Never mind. I'm just grateful to be able to clean myself. At least the water is pleasant and does not seem to be ominous. Even if I can no longer see the blood, I am sure was on my hand. See the blood I am sure was on my hands and neck. At least I am able to become clean. Dun dun dun. If only I could do as well for my stomach. Where did that food come from, and why is it being held by a piece of wainscoting? I am too hungry to care. I'll be very upset if I am murdered by a frightening shiny apple and a wine glass full of apple juice, but at least my stomach will stop making terrifying noises. Well, at least that was food and not wainscoting in disguise. I hope it's wainscoting. So what do I do now? Am I meant to wear these rags to bed? Am I meant to sleep undressed? Oh, hello. That is definitely a nightgown. I'm going to assume it was hiding at the bottom of a wine glass. Although I'm not tired enough to imagine the wainscoting dropping it in front of me. I am not too tired to realize this nightgown fits me perfectly. This is concerning. Why is there someone who knows so much about me when I know nothing about them? I still do not care. Those pillows look so comfortable that they can strangle me and I will die smiling. It is time to sleep. I hope my dreams are kinder and less strange than the rest of my day. Oh, look at my hair out. I am gorgeous. A scenic meadow. Is that a beach? That looks like a beach. A stunning beach. I was correct. A forest path. A magnificent forest. Where would you like to die? Oh, I'll say a forest. I said forest. Oh, okay. Dun dun dun. Okay. So it's nighttime. Oh, daytime. Okay. Then the eyes open. Bless. I'm mad. So I'm unable to escape from this horror even in my dreams. Oh, look, it's a special time. Well, I do not respond well to intimidation, or do I? I know I am trapped in a story I read, but it is hard to remember who I was before this. Perhaps I was affected by whatever hurt Lady Jane. No, this is garbage. If I cannot remember my own past, must I be cursed with ominous warnings meant for someone else? Ha! Obviously, my tormentors do not know me very well. After all, even if I do not know myself well, I know one thing. Whoever I am, even if I am trapped in the body of the villainess this story is determined to destroy, I am Lady Jane Neville. If you take away my arms, I will kick you. If you take away my legs, I will bite you. If you take away my teeth, my gums will make you bleed. Oh, I will not be defeated. I don't know. I will find a way to escape this mad world. Good morning, world. Here I come. Ah, fudge. After I find some clothes that are not transparent in the light. Where should I go find clothing? I suppose I could go back and look in the dresser. Or the wainscoting could drop an outfit in front of me along with a large apple. I'm a little concerned about the house's obsession with providing me with apples. Is it saying I look like a roast pig? Regardless, I will save an apple for the future in case there is somewhere with no wainscoting to provide me with food, as impossible as that seems. At least I also now have suspiciously well-fitting dresses that will not suddenly tangle around my legs should I need to flee. This one door concerns me because it is like, it's almost like an actual hidden door. It still seems like such a hidden door. I will be champion Fleer in this dress. I am gorgeous. That dress is gorgeous. So before I flee, I need to find more information about Lady Jane Neville and the people who want to kill her. There is no point in fleeing this suspicious house if I just walk instantly into the arms of Lady Jane's former fiancé. Who knows, it might not just be Lady Jane's fiancé who wants to murder her. At some point, I need to see if she has a murderable face. I shall explore this house and see if I can find the mysterious other residents and subtly learn what clues they can tell me. Then I will flee in my very fleeable dress. It's a really pretty dress. It is so comfortable to have a plan. Melina. Where should I go now? The door closed behind me. That was not at all unnerving. I assume the bedroom was glad to be rid of me. I can only hope the rest of the house feels similarly. If so, I hope that I can quickly find the other inhabitants and get the information I need. That is strange. I could have sworn this hallway had another entrance, yet I only see the door to the bedroom. Perhaps if I go back to the bedroom, I will find another exit that I missed. Oh. This looks strange. What is going on here? It's the entrance of the house. This is not the bedroom. Hello? Is anybody here? None of this seems right. If I look around, it seems like this manor long deserted, not a house that is being lived in by multiple people. What is going on here? Hello? The Crown Prince of Carcosa is behind that door. What will you do? I'm going to open it. Who is this voice in my ear? Am I meant to show respect? It seems wildly ridiculous to curtsy at the door. Perhaps the house is in the habit of naming its doors after royalty. I can probably afford a curtsy if it makes the situation stop. Serene. I must be serene. This is ridiculous. Obviously, I'm merely being blinded by wainscoting and need more rest. If I move closer to the door... I can see nothing unusual. Nothing unusual for this house, at least. How could the Crown Prince of Carcosa possibly be on the other side of the door? Oh shit, he is. Hello? Can you go higher? Why are we staring at deadpan at his crotch? My guy, higher. Thank you. Okay. I wonder if that's the same ring we had on. Is this my fiance? Isn't this the Emperor? Jane, is that you? It's hard to see with all this light in my eyes. I recognize this man. This is Edmund Alpin. I hope you're doing well, Jane, despite the recent problems. The Crown Prince of Carcosa. It is fitting that I only remember the handsome prince from the terrible novel and not anything useful. Such as whether or not he plans to smother me with the ominous cushions. He did not appear to be smuggling ominous cushions when I carefully looked him over for security reasons. I am not prepared for this. What do I do now? Run away as fast as you can. Hello, Your Highness. Goodbye, Your Highness. Jane? I could have sworn that there was not a giant hedge in front of the manor. It was very dark last night. More importantly, I am a simple woman. Ah, fudge. We'll just save this. Never mind. I am a simple woman. When an ominous voice whispers choices in my ears, I expect those terrible choices to be honoured. Forcing my body to run when I have chosen otherwise violates the spirit of ominous voices. Should I not have been allowed to curtsy to so low my knees escape from these stupid stories? Thinking of my escaping knees. It appears you doubt my guidance. Well, would you be pleased to listen to an ominous voice in your ear? Point taken. Also, your advice is terrible. A good ominous voice would at least let me say something impressive such as, from the depths of oblivion I curse thee, before I had to do something stupid. You made me say, hello, Your Highness, goodbye, Your Highness. How can I be a good villainess with such pathetic words? That is not even addressing my ridiculous run. So you did not wish to run. I had no desire to run so far and hard with some other force controlling my body. Fine, then the decisions are yours. You will realize the truth soon enough. And you wish you had run even farther. Is that my Duke of the North in the back there? Hello? Nobody could run for any farther in skirts than I did. Is he just sneaking forward? So am I finally free of voices and in a scenic hedge? At least I can stop worrying. What is this man doing? Terrible romance novel fiancés until I catch my breath. Oh, are we going to look down to the feet and then focus on the crotch again for a good 30 seconds? Oh, yep, here it comes. Beautiful crotch, my guy. Pretty butterfly. This man is handsome. As you can tell, I don't have a type. Not at all. So you did escape the head, Jane. Who is this man and why is he covered in leaves? Wait, I know him. This is Ezekiel, Duke of the North. Yes, this is my Duke of the North. I know who I want. My dedication is unrivaled. A Duke of the North? Romance novels are terrible at No, shut up. Also, apparently the only thing I remember from reading novels is the descriptions of attractive men. That seems fair. Good hedge or bad hedge? You have to be careful about hedges, Dane. I do not want you to be hurt by a bad hedge. Somehow I've missed everything Lord Izel said. I will need to suddenly change the subject to hide my inattention. Do you enjoy lurking in bushes, Lord Izel? Sometimes I have to do things I do not enjoy or the things that I do not do. Though I wish the leaves would stop following me. Duke Izel's presence forces me to realize that my situation is even more confusing than I imagined. Okay. I was so sure that Prince Edmund was the former fiancé that I was escaping, especially since I was literally forced to escape from him. Which of them was the fiancé who betrayed Jane and sent her into exile? Unless, could one of the two men be the patron who helped Jane and me escape from the prison and here in the first place? I don't know, to be honest. Who is he? Who is Prince Edmund a sparkly yet murderous fiancé or an equally sparkly yet helpful patron? Please don't be evil. I fucking love you. minus the fact that your hair is floating behind your eyes. Is Lord Izel a suspicious hedgeman? Well, yes, but Lord Izel is a former fiancé. Could he be my patron? How can I tell? Are you hurt, Jane? Did the bushes ambush you? You ambushed me creepily, but it's fine. Why am I surrounded by people who want my destruction? Probably because they're jealous of how hard you've been training. Pardon me? Jane, you must have always been the hardest working person I know. Your enemies must have seen your efforts and grown jealous of you. They have? Then what should I do? Obviously, you must train hard to overcome all future trials. Luckily, I am here to help you. By the time I am done training you, no one will doubt your strength, brilliance, and cunning. You will overcome every last obstacle. Does this strange Duke of the North even know what genre he's in? We are supposed to be in a bad romance, not an action-adventure series. Perhaps I should have fought harder to stay with the prince dressed like a human chandelier. Yet, that may be unfair. Duke Izel may not be quite as obsessed with training as he seems on the first impression. Perhaps he has other sides to his personality. It is good to see you again, Jane. I have been waiting in these hedges for some time in the hopes for our next meeting. Well, at least he's not only interested in training and growing stronger, he is also obsessed with hedges. Having diverse interests is important. You can't talk. We are obsessed with the fucking pillows or the cushions of the carriage. Yet this is still not helping me determine whether or not he is Lady Jane's fiancé and whether he is training her to survive, or whether he wishes her to die in some sort of training accident. Still, I do not remember any mild leads in romance novels being so focused on the hedges. Then again, I do not remember any romance novels at all. Perhaps romances are mostly centered around hedge care. Unfortunately, I do think the ominous voice is going to help me run anymore, so I'm just going to have no easy way of leaving this situation. So how should I answer this hedgeman, who could be either friend or foe? Oh, my mouse is fucking up. So you wish to know more about love, you seek me as your tutor. Your trust in strangers and talking object is noted. I have created a gallery that will provide what you seek. You'll be able to judge affection through writing, portraits, moods, and numbers. After all, you love to see success in every form. Do you consider success to be bringing out happiness or misery? Your pleasure is your choice. What story will you tell? Or what story will be told of you? Hello? So he's neutral. This is the Duke Ezel Kuzi. Never mind, why bother showing the entire man when the only part you care about is the face? I know what you value here and where you can discover the effects of your choices. Is this very special gallery? Those who are capable of receiving love will show you how they feel about the actions of Jane Neville. For instance, how do you think Duke Isil feels about you right now, about Jane's actions? Of course, Jane has not taken any actions yet. That is why the answer should be easy. Neutral. Duke Izel feels neutral about Jane's non-existent actions towards him. Hmm. Fine. Why do we not see what happens if Jane performs an action that will make Duke Izel feel happier? Is that not an incredible difference? Can you not see the joy beaming from his face? Perhaps the Duke Izel's expressions are not as informative as we could hope. Look, all good galleries we have helpful explanation of the portrait to help those with less understanding of art. As you can see, it currently says that Duke Izel feels perfectly neutral. Should an action perform that makes him happy, O is one part happy. Okay. Choose wisely and remember. Okay. So how should I answer the henchman who could either be friend or foe? I am glad you are ready for training again after all that has happened. We will work to show your speed, strength, and cunning to all around you. No one will dare doubt your abilities. Unfortunately, Duke Ezel appears to be saying I am surrounded by my enemies, and he is probably right. If that is the case, I really need to train to get stronger. If there are likely far too many people to dismember me because of Lady Jane's villainous ways, I should thank Duke Ezel for the excellent warning. Thank you, Duke, for letting me know about this threat. I will try to become more difficult to dismember. Perhaps that will prevent future blades from reaching me. Oh, if you've already had some blades pierced through you, it is all more important to practice dodging. Obviously, my problem is that I have not spent enough time dodging. Do you know where I can find a tutor? I am more than willing to help you practice your skills, Jane. After all, I am very good at dodging and piercing. Whenever they are willing to see my piercing skills, I have a tool at the ready. But we should not talk yet about sheathing hard weapons within you or anyone else. Ooh. There are far more important tasks before we start training together. I have a list. Well, I had a list. Did you lose it while in the bushes when pricking soft women while training them? I do not prick women. I have never pricked any woman, ever. After all, I am yet unmarried, and I have been very careful about doing my business in these bushes, so... I knew I had my list somewhere up my sleeves. Beautiful. Oh, pretty flowers. Definitely pretty flowers. Okay. As you can see, there is only one step left. Duke Ezel, I am morbidly curious about what solve problems part of the list means. Am I the problem you are solving? You are always so clever, Jane. I wrote an entire list about your brilliance. Oh, he's obsessed with me. It is nice that Duke Ezel thought enough of me to include me in all 3 steps in his list. However, I should probably suddenly see if he's as sneaky as his excellent hiding skills suggest. What else might be concealed in those cleverly chosen words on his list? That list says problems, not problem. What else are you solving other than me? Jane, you are the cleverest person I know. How did you notice there were multiple problems? I am very good at reading. Of course you are. You have discovered my secret about the problems. The truth is... Yes? I do not know what the other problems are yet. Oh my god. But the list will reveal its secrets to me once I am able to handle the truth. After all, my father taught me to always listen to the heart of the list. Since you have found one of the truths in the list's heart, I should adjust the list to show what you discovered. Let us officially add you to the list. Oh god. Why am I one of the problems? 3A, Jane. Now all I need to do is follow my list and troubles will be over very soon. Oh look, it's that thing in the back again. I do not see. I think I am more confused when I started, frankly. Obviously what I need to do is find a subtle way to learn more about what he is intending. I'm impressed by plans. Since you make so many plans, you are very impressive. I do think I am very good at plans. Thank you for noticing. As an investigative genius, I was able to deduce your interest in lists as well. I always enjoy discussing plans and lists. I have lists of all my plans and a list of all the lists of my plans. It does mean I have less space for clothing, but luckily my father's old clothes can fit well under the papers. Oh my god. Come to think of it, I probably need a list of what lists I put under the clothing on it. It's very hard to find socks now. Wait, what? Why do you need lists for... Well, otherwise the sofa keeps eating them. You have to have enough lists that if a sofa is attacking you, you can fight them off with a spare list so they do not eat your fingers instead. Make sure not to get the list and the finger confused. My uncle made that mistake. That is why they call him the three-toed bald koozie. So somehow, when he put his finger on, instead of a list, he lost both his toes and his hair. No, but he lost the plan for keeping the people from noticing his hair loss. I am so glad you understand how important it is to plan for luxurious hair. That is something important to remember. I am glad that you are smart enough to understand my plans, Jane. Look at my very complicated list and how much I have done. I went to your manor. I found you. Now I solve problems. It is a little more challenging to have you on the list as well, but I will find a way to make it work. Like that time we decided to learn how to do sword dancing. We do sword dancing? Why'd you creep forward and then walk away? Sword dancing? We trained in sword dancing? Do you not remember when we decided to learn sword dancing? Of course I do. How could I forget that unforgettable time we decided to learn sword dancing? Of course I do not. What kind of romance novel features sword dancing? I am going to accidentally murder myself if he hands me a sword. How can I possibly pretend to be Lady Jane Neville, who frankly seems more amazing by the minute? All I need to do is be subtle and I should be able to avoid his suspicion. Yes, sword dancing, my absolute favourite hobby. It is unfortunate that we do not have any swords nearby to practice it again. Sword dancing would have been such a great part of our training regimen. However, I'm sure we can cope with this disappointment bravely. Very bravely, extremely bravely, with graceful bravery almost to the height of this house's wainscoting. You like sword dancing, Jane? But after we destroyed the gazebo, the hedge, and your father's beard, you told me that you never wanted to see me pricking anything ever again. Then you added no swords either. But if you like swords, fuck. So 3A1 sword dancing. Oh god. This will be very helpful for solving our problems. I'm sure it will. Was the problem with that list truly the lack of sword dancing? I will obviously need to sharpen my investigative genius if I hope to survive in Jane Neville's body. Who knew romance novels would involve so much sword dancing? I suppose that sword training makes sense given how many enemies a villainess must have. Let us hope that Izelle's cunning plan is not to have me murder myself. I'm excited to see your sword handling skills again. In any case, moving away from the overwhelming passion for training with large dangerous objects, would you like to go into the house, Duke Izelle? It must have been a long ride here. Sure, you need to rest and refresh yourself. Then while he's resting and refreshing, I can go to the stable, steal his horse and ride away to safety. If I'm going to live up to Lady Jane's reputation as a villainess, this is the best way to do it. After all, I truly do not want to demonstrate my non-existent sword dancing skills. Even if Izelle does plan to train me, it would be hard to continue training sword skills that do not exist. Oh, I understand. When I want to do something, I think everyone wants to do the same thing too. If you are hungry, Jane, I'll go make sure that food is prepared for you. We always work up quite an appetite together. I will brave the hedge for you, Lady Jane. I will make sure I can feed your appetite. I do feel a little sorry for Duke Izelle since he keeps calling me Jane. He is very earnest and obviously not as subtle as I am. I wonder if his angelic face and sweet words hide something more sinister. Perhaps it is time to think things over. So far, I have seen 2 men on this estate. It makes sense that one of them will be Jane's fiancé and the other her patron. So is this the very relatable and very normal Izelle Jane's helpful patron, or is he her cruel fiancé? How can I possibly tell, especially without letting these men know that I do not remember Lady Jane's past? How can I tell without letting them know I am not Lady Jane? What will these men do if they realize I am not Lady Jane? I think I need to find a horse to steal. To the stables! I need to find the stables first. Never mind, if life makes it easy to steal a horse, you do not ask too many questions. Okay, off to the stables we go. So where is the horse hiding? Between the carriage that brought me here, however anyone else arrived, there must at least be one horse here. Horsey! Are you looking for me? Oh, what the fuck? Why would I read novels of enchanted animals that need to kiss to turn back into attractive men? That is obviously a mistake of some sign. I am obviously so grateful to see that you desire to mount you is overwhelming my common sense. Well, Jane, I can certainly take you for a ride if that's what you want. Surely I did not have such bad taste in my past. I would know if I had such strong desire for horseflesh. Who actually wishes to kiss a horse to get a worthy man? I am not sure I qualify as a stallion, but I will take the compliment. Why on earth would I ride a stallion? I thought you were a gelding. Jane, maybe you should look slightly, just slightly farther over. Oh, it's the brown head guy. Oh, the focus on the crotch again. He is a pretty boy. I have missed you, Jane. Ben? Thank goodness, I was afraid you wouldn't call me Lord Burren for the rest of my life. It is good to hear you say my name again. Ben Burren, only son of Duke Burren, childhood friend and neighbour of Jane Neville. I am forced to realise that I truly do have incredible memory for attractive men and nothing else. Did Ben's exposed collarbone hypnotise me so much that I immediately blurted out a name that could only be used by someone very close to him? Look, I respect it. Ben is not upset, but I need to be less suspicious. Perhaps I can subtly change the subject. You look well and not like someone who is about to murder me. That is true, though I am amazed that you can see me through all these petals. Why are there petals floating in the stable anyway? I have no idea. Maybe someone was storing potpourri in the rafters and the packets fell off when you came here. Those scented flower packets stink. Does that mean that I'm going to spend the rest of my life smelling like the inside of a drawer? Think of it this way, Ben. What other foul-smelling objects could be floating through the air in a stable? Let's not consider that. Point taken. I'll complain about the petals no further, even if they continue raining down on me. Have you tried nicely asking the house to stop? For instance, you could say, please stop making me smell like the inside of my mother's linen closet. That is much better, though your flower fall was too cruel a punishment for so small a sin. It was not my fault you mistook me for a horse. Though I am impressed that you managed to control those petals. I do not know why Ben thinks I did something to make the petals stop. Has he not tried asking the house for what he wants? When I said I wanted things, the house has occasionally responded. I assume this is both because I asked for what I want and because it helps advance this terrible story's plot. Still, if Ben has not learned how to work with the house, I might have an advantage over him. If he tries to murder me, I can summon one of my endless apples, and the loud crunching noises will distract him long enough for me to flee. However, before I make plans to run, I need to make him think I am sweet and useless so he does not suspect me. It was cruel of you to pretend that animals can speak. To be fair, it was hard to reach you faster than the horse. He has always been bizarrely fond of you. Horse? Oh no, Jane, you do not get to pretend you did not name him. If I had to explain that name for 14 years, you cannot forget that you forced me to choose it. Well, he seems to like the name. That is because Horse is, as I said, bizarrely fond of you. I assume it is because you have something special to attract him, and I have one guess. What do you use to wash your hair? Horse is always eager to sample it. So Horse does not want to murder me. This might help me eventually. Horse also has better taste in women than James's former fiancée, who still I do not remember. Of course, Ben's presence complicates the question of who Jane's fiancé is, but that is a thought for later. Right now, I need to decide just how friendly I want to be with the popular horseman, given he might be in the story. Should I have not soaked my hair in oats? Your commitment to beauty standards and animal care is what I most admire about you. Although I suspect that your hair could attract more than a horse. Truly, attracting a horse was an accident, really. I've been trying to lure squirrels to do my bidding. Wait, why on earth would I want to lure squirrels to do my bidding? He's not happy with that. Why on earth would you want to lure squirrels to do your bidding? Squirrels are nasty, terrifying creatures who will kill you with a blank look in their beady little eyes. Ben? I see, you plan to use those bloodthirsty squirrels against your enemies. By the blood, the way your mind works makes me dizzy with amazement at my brilliance? Yes, among other things. Ignoring your brilliance, if you are still worried about attracting your horse, you need not be concerned. Your hair is lovely with or without an additional scent. Almost as lovely as it is to see you again. You are so... I am so... Have you lost your voice? Are the words you are thinking too disturbing to share? Oh, I skipped a bit. Whoops. Can I back? Of course not. It's just that the horse missed you. I would horse be flattered to know that I missed him too. I will have to thank him personally. Where is Horse? I could have sworn he was right beside me. Oh, he is very clever. Horse managed to find himself an open stall with food and water where he can stare lovingly at you. I could have sworn that stall had bars in front of it. Surely Horse is not capable of removing bolt planks by his teeth. I had need to pay more attention to my surroundings. I obviously am imagining things when I need to remember what I see. As it is, I need to be polite but distant with Ben until I can remember more. It is important that I do not say anything that could be misinterpreted as cruel or cold. I hope your heavy weight did not inconvenience poor Horse since you rode him all the way here. Trust me, Jane, I did not inconvenience Horse in the least. Horse is very fond of my weight. Are you also fond of my inconvenient weight? Is this a threat? Is Ben threatening to squash me with his bulk or aim other parts of his body at me? Those collarbones qualify as dangerous weapons, and those bare forearms are also alarming. Look at how muscular and powerful they are. Surely there is a way to defeat Ben's cunning plan to overwhelm me with his body. You have no idea how much I missed you. Obviously, I'm not just saying this to hide my unhappiness at this situation. I truly missed you desperately. Have you hurt yourself somehow, Jane? Only in that I've been blinded by your dazzling smile. I'm getting slightly afraid here, Jane. Well, I am the one who should be afraid. Afraid that I'll miss a second of your luscious hair swaying in the breeze. Luscious hair swaying. Jane, did you recently dive neck deep into a pile of terrible romance novels? Ben, if I ever see a romance novel again, I will burn it to cinders and scatter it in the ashes to the wind. Now there is the Jane I know, or rather than the stranger complimenting me on my appearance. Ah. How's this going? No. Is Ella's 3 parts happy? Have I somehow given myself away speaking too honestly about Ben's gorgeous appearance? Curse his cunning plan to distract me with his dangerous body. After all, the last time you said I looked well was when you landed in your head and thought I was an actor with an exceptionally large ego. Amongst other things. Let us speak no more of it. We both have already forgotten that memory. Even if you were right and he and I shared some common proportions. Oh. Oh, so we banged Ben. Have we banged Ben? Is that what this is? Did we cheat on our fiancé with Ben? Speaking of good proportions, I'm glad you found a slightly less used outfit to wear. It makes it much easier for us to frolic in this delightful estate that only appears to be partially on the verge of collapse. I'm impressed that you noticed my change in clothes. Does this mean Ben saw me in my previous outfit? This changes things because there are only a few people who could have seen me in that ragged dress. Still, is he possibly referring to some other outfit? I need to pay attention to what he says. Now that I'm living in this manner as it beautifully falls apart around my ears, I need to dress appropriately. Does that mean your dress becomes equipped with a shield for falling bricks? Bricks? It is the wainscoting you should fear. Ben, you need to breathe as well as laugh. I remember Ben. Something in me knows him. I know that Jane grew up with him and spent countless hours in his company. I remember nearly nothing about Jane, but I remember Ben. So why am I so afraid to trust him? I need to see if I can get actual non-joking answer from him. Benny, you're not here to judge my fashion choices, so why are you here? Jane, you wound me. I always have time for your fashion choices. If Duke Buren could not let me wear lace-covered gowns, then who could model it for me? I can see why a father would object. If you continue to show as much skin as you do, the lace would have been attached to your flesh. So you can understand why I urgently needed to see you. I actually do not. Why are you here, Ben? Where else would I be? I always race to be by your side whenever you need me. So you had decided that I needed you? I had hoped you needed me. Once I have settled horse, we need to speak seriously. I have never ridden as hard or fast as I did today. Once horse is well, we need time to discuss all that has happened. Fuck. Keep doing that. Preferably over a cup of tea, assuming, of course, that the tea in the matter is not as decayed as literally everything else here. Well, I could eat the apples, so hopefully the tea will be fine. Maybe I can impress Ben with my courage or knowledge of the house. I am glad you are willing to risk potential poisoning to spend time with me. I am flattered beyond relief. Yes, I am very brave and do not already know that tea will be perfectly safe to drink. Well, you will get a chance to show your bravery soon enough if I do not tend a horse immediately. What do you mean? Does he need a new tack? I think I saw some saddles off to the side. I will check their condition. Some of these might actually be useful if you can ignore the strange length of the stirrups. Oh no, Jane, I think you'll get to test your courage sooner than expected. Where'd the horse go? I knew horse would not be able to resist the smell of your hair for long. I always wished to be showered with spittle from a horse's mouth. I finally get to live out my deepest fantasies. I hope you can revise your fantasy slightly. However, I'll need to settle horse again before we speak. Yes, after you care for horse, come to the manor. Make sure to stable horse first. I do not want to have tea mixed with horse spittle. It's obvious we have a lot to discuss. The horse is just so happy to see us. I think I'll take horse for a quick ride because he is too worked up to immediately put him in the stall. You seem to understand him very well. Take him for a good ride. Just know that I will waste no time taking the best tea desserts for myself. I would expect no less from you. After all, time is a terrible thing to waste. That's that wording again. Time is a terrible thing to waste. Well, I got spooked apparently. Now I need to think. By the blood, what happened during those final moments with Ben? Oh. We were having a perfectly pleasant horse spittle-soaked conversation when all of a sudden... My head began to ache and I hear Ben's voice say, "Time is a terrible thing to waste," is an oddly distorted voice. Are we about to be attacked? That was not even the worst of it. Immediately after Ben spoke, I heard my voice say, "Ben, are you here too?" Hello? Only that was not my voice, was it? It was the voice of the actual Jane Neville, the villainess who should be trying to survive this terrible story. Unfortunately, the villainess could not just tell me what Ben had planned. Lady Jane said, "Ben, are you here too?" But what was Ben here to do? Help me? Murder me? Serenade me with a song about horses' eating habits? Hello? Are you sure those are the only things Ben Burr might do? Oh, you again. Well, it seems as if you could use a sympathetic ear and perhaps some other assistance. I thought you planned to leave me alone, to make my own choices. What would I regret forever? I'm not sure that is exactly what I said, but I'm not making your choices. I am here to listen. Honestly, it is nice to talk to someone who cannot murder me. Even if the only reason you cannot murder me is because you do not appear to have a body and have sworn to no longer control mine. If you could stop reminding me that literally everything and everyone else here can murder me, we would get along very well. I will avoid providing more warnings for now. I am interested in your thoughts. I have so many thoughts. For one, I thought I understood what was happening with Ben until I heard both his voice and my voice in my mind. Now I have to worry about Ben being the male lead. This is despite the fact that childhood friends are supposed to be loving but ultimately disposable in terrible romance novels. Until I heard voices, I was convinced that the childhood friend could never win over the heroine. Thus, Ben could never be the former fiancé who betrayed Lady Jane. Did you not see Lord Burren's collarbones? I admit that there was a terrible mistake not to take collarbones into account. However, I was too hypnotized by them not to realize the danger. So you realize Ben Burren is a potential danger to you? Well, no, because the situation is even more confusing than it was before my vision. According to what I understood, there should be two men involved in this story. One of these men should be the fiancé who betrayed me, and the other should be the patron who saved me. As for who Ben is, Ben, are you here too? Could be followed by help me or harm me, so he could fit either of these roles. Hello, my guy in the background. So it will be easy to determine which role is Ben Burren fits. But then that is the problem. Ben, the childhood friend, is not the only man in this manner. I also met Edmund, the Crown Prince, and Azelle, the Duke of the North. But now I must deal with 3 men and 2 roles. That seems like a very confusing math problem. Yes, especially since I have no idea why I have a third wild card here. I do not even know what man is my patron, which is my fiancé, so what am I supposed to do with the third? Make him my hedge trimmer? It seems as though you could use a guide who could help you. Are you volunteering for the role? I am always willing to give you a nudge in the proper direction. Does this nudge involve taking control of my body as you did when you made me run from Prince Edmund? Would you not have run from it anyway? Perhaps I would have, perhaps I would not. Either way, the choice should have been mine. Why should it matter if the choice is yours or mine if the choice is the same? The person making the choice matters most of all. If I must live through a wretched story that seems to determine to torture me, I need to control my own destiny. Even if you mean well, even if you are truly trying to help me, even if you are right, I must be the person who controls my fate. I do not understand. When I made you run, you called it a terrible choice, yet you believe it was a good choice when you ran on your own. Well, yes, I am perfectly capable of making terrible choices on my own. I never denied that. Sometimes the choices I make will be terrible or will seem terrible to someone like you. But they are still my choices. This is my life I am risking. What happens to me must be my responsibility. So you would rather do something foolish on your own than something wise under my direction. I am afraid I do not understand. Look, it seems as if you wish to help me. Goodness knows you might be the only one. However, you can help me by respecting that I would rather bet my life upon my own investigative genius than be someone else's puppet. I will take responsibility for my own actions and for my fate. However, I will always be grateful for your wise suggestions and advice. Oh my god, he's covered in the things now. Does that mean I can still send you ominous warnings once in a while? Only as long as they're most ominous warnings. That seems fair. Beware of strangers bearing bushes. Now that was a good warning. I am ready to proceed somewhere. Shall I walk the hedge until I find somewhere else? Oh, he's gone. That looks as good as it place as any. Hopefully I shall eventually find some food that is not apples on my journey. Hmm. Da-da-da-da. How does the house manage to look ominous during the day? Truly, there are no end of ominous objects here. If I remember the ominous voices' warnings, then I should also check the one object in particular. The bush? Are you a naughty bush? It said yes. Bush, I do not think I am very... Oh, cool. The bush is talking to us. Well, technically, I have heard small children say that they have been naughty before they start shrieking and spill strange liquids on me. I am very confused. Well, that is not the bush. That's it could not get the... Okay. I do not think I am that unshapen. Oh, it's the prince. We can't see the prince because he's hidden behind the bush. You are the shiniest bush I have ever seen. It is naughty to blind people with your light. Shiny? Do you mean all that metal on me is shiny? I suppose even if you are strange male lead, you still need to have some kind of fancy decoration somewhere. I do not know. Oh my god, this is a gorgeous manor. Is the metal you just mentioned reflecting enough light to interfere with your vision? If it bothers you, I will reduce the reflection. Thank you for the advice. Prince Edmund? I called the Crown Prince of Carcosia a naughty bush after previously running away from him. Even if he was not already planning to murder me, surely now he wants me dead. Please, Jane, could you please call me Edmund again? Are the men in this world, in this novel, very cunning or just strangely unbothered by insults? All the better for me. I just need to handle this situation very subtly and there will not be any problems. I was definitely not at all concerned that you were going to murder me on the spot. I am happy to call you by the name I definitely remember, calling you Edmund. Hello, Jane. I am behaving very normally. I am not at all nervous about seeing you again. I also definitely did not crouch down in a bush to be able to look at you in the eye. It was perfectly normal for us to stare at one another through a bush for long periods of time. Bushes are very interesting. Absolutely. There is nothing like a lush bush to make someone want to stare and sink their face into it like we did. This is going very well. Still, I have to be careful because Edmund seems to be nearly as subtle as I am. So, Edmund, we have somehow yet met again. Is there a reason you've come to see me? I have many reasons. Too many reasons to speak of right now, Jane. At least not before we have some tea. Anyway, in happier news, you look very healthy, Jane, and not as though you plan to run from me. I definitely am not planning to run. I am definitely planning to run. Just not in front of someone who could easily have me beheaded. I see the guillotine enough in my dreams. I do not need to see it in reality. After all, it can be very unstable, and I'm not sure why I know that, but it feels true to me. I am glad, after all, I was able to find you because I knew you'd be running in circles since. It is too hard to run in squares. You have such a great sense of humour. So do you. I am so glad to laugh with you again. Perhaps this meeting can bring more pleasure than pain. Ah, a chance for me to be witty or subtly express my concerns. Oh, I fucked up. There we go. I am pleased to hear that, although technically pleasure is a form of pain. That is incredibly alarming. I mean, interesting to hear. I should take you to see my drawings sometimes. They are very informative about a variety of subjects. What do your secret drawings show? How fast can I run if his drawings demonstrate that Edmund takes pleasure in giving pain? Perhaps his beauty distracts vulnerable young ladies before he sheaths his blade in them. There are lots of topics, although some of the drawings are incomplete. Perhaps you'd like to finish the bird. It already has a head, a body, and feet, so you can just wing it. You are fiendishly clever, Edmund Alpin, but I will not be fooled. If you try to demonstrate that you enjoy pain, you will feel my boot against your throat. That will bring more pleasure than pain, my lady. Oh, he's blushing. What do you mean? Are you saying I do not have the strength to mount you effectively? Wow. Wording. Phrasing. No, just that having you on top of me is always a no, pain, no. Oh my god, he's stuttering. What? I really like hardwood. Did you know how much of it there is on this estate? Pardon me? I was able to get a much better look at how unusual the designs in the manor were when I was trapped at the entrance to this place. Trapped? What do you mean? I tried to follow you after you left, but the door closed and then locked behind you. On the positive side, by the time I was able to exit, I had memorized the design of the wainscoting. It is an interesting pattern. Did you know that there was wainscoting on the ceiling? Unfortunately, yes. However, I want to know more about how you were trapped. It was very strange. The door refused to open when I tried it. Then once I had focused my attention entirely on the most delightful moulding, I turned around and the door was wide open. I went out and you were nowhere to be seen, but then there you were. Did you run because you were attacked by cat moulding? It did look very suspicious, even if it is beautiful. Edmund is obviously very clever to notice the danger and beauty of the wainscoting, but does that mean he is telling the truth about what happened to him? Did the house truly prevent him from coming after me when the choice to run was made for me? Does it mean the house will no longer help me if I will not accept the voice's help? I cannot go any longer without knowing this. For some reason, the apple I had saved in my dress has disappeared, so... Apple! Where? Jane, I need an apple. I could see if there is some in the pantry in the manor. No need, the house still loves me. I'm very interested in hearing more about your thoughts on this house and how you managed to conceal an apple in that dress. My thoughts on the house? Yes, this manor does not seem to be using the design I had suggested, so I was wondering if you knew any of the good areas to visit. I have always enjoyed our debates about architecture. Well, that was because you enjoyed seeing me get so excited that I jumped higher than a house. Because a house cannot jump. Okay. Are you here to help me solve my mysteries? After all, what could be more mysterious than who is trying to kill Lady Jane Neville? Though, how the house has an endless supply of apples is also very... get off order. Perhaps Edmund is here to solve the mysteries about myself or the house. Oh, I understand. Edmund already has proven that he is cunning and clever. Perhaps he is also an investigative genius. Perhaps Edmund is even the patron who saved me because he needed another investigative genius to help solve these mysteries. Be honest, Edmund. Are you here to solve mysteries or to investigate the dangers of wainscoting? Jane, are you still as brilliant as ever? How did you know that I was here to solve mysteries and destroy your problems? Nobody understands subtlety like I do. I am concerned about your focus on the problem, though. You do not have a list, do you? A list? I usually solve problems in my head. Then you are an investigative genius too. I am so flattered to hear you compare me to yourself. I've always dreamed of being as perceptive as you. It is as pleasing as seeing... Oh, oops, I did it again. Whoops. Of course, I appreciate your jokes after all. No one could be more talented than either of us in investigation or comedy. Still, as brilliant as we both are, we'll need to make maps and sketch out suspects. What would happen if we could not tell a suspicious piece of wainscoting from a suspicious dresser? I would be happy to sketch you whenever you choose. That would be... No, I will not be distracted. Why are you exactly here? I am here to make sure you get into no further trouble. The only way I will not get into further trouble is if I am dead. Does this mean he plans to kill me? I like how he jumped to the conclusions. Or at least that you only get in more trouble with me. Trouble with you? Are you planning to cause my problems to mount? No, I intend to cause perfectly innocent trouble. Trouble that does not involve mounting in any way. My mind is always making perfectly innocent plans. What sort of plans are you speaking of? Our plans, after all. We always love discussing our plans for the country together. Did you know that the wainscoting in the parlour of our kingdom's palace was first designed in... Edmund and I had plans for the country? What was our relationship to one another? The only people who had planned together are people who were intimately involved. Was I his investigative genius? Did I serve as an aide to the crown? Was he my fiancé? Jane, are you alright? You seem lost in thought. Pardon me? Forgive me, but have you forgotten our past plans? Did your time in prison harm your memory? Edmund knows that I was in prison. This is an alarming thought for later, but I have an even more alarming immediate concern. I cannot let anyone know I do not remember this terrible story, or even more importantly, that I am not actually Lady Jane Neville. Edmund must never realise that I am not the Lady Jane that he once knew. He and the other men might end up pricking me with their swords if they learn that I am not the woman they want me to be. How can I subtly distract Edmund from his suspicions? Oh, Edmund, you are my best plan. I am? Truly? Not unless you are actually my patron and not my terrible former fiancé, dear Edmund. However, since I do not know exactly who you are and need you to stop suspecting me, I am willing to flatter you until you are no longer suspicious of me. Thankfully, no one can provide subtle flattery like I can. Look out for my charm, Edmund. Of course, Edmund. Who needs plans when they have you? After all, how could anyone not be amazed by you and your brilliance? There are so many things to like about you. It is flattering beyond words to know you feel so kindly about me, Jane. Even despite, well, I'm overjoyed. Although perhaps, if you do not mind, perhaps you could tell me what you truly like about me. If I knew what you liked, I would even more frequently. Oh, there is so much about you that I like I barely know where to begin. Though the first thing that comes to mind is, yes? Your skill at sword polishing. What? Yes, when it comes to polishing your sword, you are second to none. You must have the shiniest sword in all the land due to the amount of time you spend rubbing your shaft, even without a sheath. I've never known another man who polishes his sword as often and as thoroughly as you do. Oh my lord. Even without an opponent nearby, I must tell everyone of your deeds. Jane, no, please. No need for the false modesty, Edmund. All of our kingdom must know how firm your grip is upon your shaft. After all, you should whip it out at every opportunity. I think that might get me beheaded quite quickly. Ha, like a swordsman of your caliber could lose a fight. After all, I know you'd whip out your blade any time a young maiden like me is menaced. For instance, that naughty bush just happens to be particularly enraging. It is? Why? Look at it being so lush and overgrown. However, everyone knows that naughty bushes often need a good whacking. So, Prince Edwin, please prick my bush for me. Am I dead? Is this what death is like? Go, Edmund, gone. Keep polishing and pricking. I think I have suddenly flattened Edmund enough that he will not think about sheathing his blade in me. The innuendos. My lord, the innuendos in this. That just means I need to make sure he has no further suspicions about whether or not I am Lady Jane Neville. While I enjoy speaking with you, I am exhausted from all that has happened to me. It has been so challenging to fight off both the wainscoting and my very real memories of being in prison that I cannot think of anything but my pain. The terrible, terrible pain in my heart when I realize that I'll never again be able to dance the beautiful sword dance of my heart without thinking of all that has passed. You can sword dance? You can sword dance well? Was it only Azelle who was interested in sword dancing? Edmund actually has a blade he is constantly polishing, so I assume that he would enjoy sword dancing as well. If I am wrong, I must stop Edmund's doubts immediately. Not anymore, not after my deep, deep sorrow. You see, I feel the deepest sorrow at the thought of being pricked. No pricking, I would not even dream of pricking anything, let alone you, constantly. That is very good to hear. Still, Jane, you hate dancing, so why would you mention... My pain has become even deeper. Forgive me. No, forgive me. I am so sorry, Jane. I should have remembered all that you have suffered. I do not blame you, Edmund. No one could possibly know all the terror I have experienced. Mostly from the thought of ominous cushions or falling wainscoting. All the pain I have suffered. Who would have not who would not have a sore neck after being trapped in a carriage going nowhere for a long period of time? Or the trials I have faced. Despite the house seems to think apples are not actually a full meal. That is not even considering the trial of being pulled into a terrible story that makes no sense. I should be weeping in rage. Oh, Jane, I truly regret all the pain you have experienced and all the cruelties you have to endure. If there's anything I can do to help you. Okay. I am sure you would do whatever you could to help me, Edmund, though perhaps we can speak of something better than bitter memories. Especially since I do not remember these bitter memories. Of course, Jane. As always, I will gladly do anything you ask me to do. In truth, Yes, Edmund? I am grateful that after all that we've been through, we are reunited once again. However, I am most grateful that you are once again Jane in all ways. In all ways? What does that even mean? I was so worried that... Yes, what were you worried about, Edmund? Edmund, are you well? Yes, more importantly, I was worried. I just hope that neither of us need to experience what we went through again in the future. I hope not. With luck, I can avoid further difficulties in the future, no matter how many bad romance novels I was foolish enough to read. Bad romance? No. Never mind. Just remember that I am definitely the Jane you have always known. How could Edmund not be convinced by my incredible display of subtlety? Now is my chance to even be more subtle and convince him to help me leave this house. How's our love going? Two happy, three happy, one part happy. Okay. I would like the Jane who you know I most safely. I have an even better suggestion. Once I am away from this house, I can continue being a perfectly normal Jane each and every day. Yes, I too am the Edmund you have always known, unless you want me to be a different Edmund. In which case, wait! Away from this house? Jane, you know it will be some time before... Before what, Edmund? Before tea? Before the wainscoting eats us? Or do you mean before I can leave here? Jane, you are free to do as you wish here. I know this place might not be as you used to, but if there is anything I can do to comfort you... Comfort me? Edmund, I know you are trying to help, but do you know what would comfort me? Probably not me telling you as a joke about the difference between a hedgehog and a sheath sword. Oh, wait. What is the ants on a hedgehog? The pricks are on the outside. Oh, my lord. No, you cannot distract me with your comedic genius. Please be honest, Edmund. Why can't I leave the house as I please? Jane, I have no more ways to persuade you. However, please remember that I promised you would not regret trusting me, even if your father... My father? Yes, your father and mother would both want... Why should I care what they want? After all, the beloved family of Jane Neville has already demonstrated how much they care for her. Yes, your family has definitely shown how much they care for you by not helping me when I needed them the most and now leaving me to stay in a strange house in the middle of nowhere with a man who speaks nothing but pricking. Is that how you see the situation? Yes. Why does my head hurt? Oh. Why does my heart hurt? Why did the clock fail to become a chef? Because he ran out of time. I do not know how much time I have to prove myself to you, Jane, but I promise I'll do everything I can to be worthy of your trust. I trust that you can make me smile. I will do everything I can to bring joy in all ways, my lady. I do not care what it costs me. Why did I say that? Why did he say that? What is going on here? I need Eben to leave so I can think. Shall we head back to the house? I am truly exhausted and want nothing more than a cup of tea. I will be happy to arrange that. Surely there must be an unmolded tea bag somewhere in this place. Perhaps it is hiding in the baseboards. Or he could just ask servant. However, if Edmund wishes to find the tea bag himself as part of a cunning plan to determine what I've been doing, that gives me more time to recover. Then I shall wish you luck on your adventure, Edmund. Make sure to prepare a delicious tea for us. If you can bring a dozen little cakes as well, I may even forget what my pain is. I'll do my best. The manners wainscoting will hide nothing from me. Unfortunately, if Edmund looks there, all he shall find are apples. So long as Edmund leaves, I can sacrifice some delicious tea cakes. What is more important than getting him out of my way? Just a little more subtle flattery should do it. How very brave and princely of you to search through the house's wainscoting. You are a true knight in shining armour. All those lovable maidens must adore a prince who can fetch them some tea. I am not sure about that, Jane. I have not always served lovable maidens as well as I would have liked. By served, does Edward mean for dinner? Did I read cannibal romances in my past life? No, I do not think there are cannibal romances. Romance readers would not want the male lead to devour the heroine. I don't know, depending on the way you do it though. So Edmund is saying that he's not always served lovable maidens well. Must refer to something else. Something that I must investigate later. Okay. Is Edmund trying to insult me or compliment me? His subtlety may be more powerful than I imagined. Being compared to the house should be an insult since it's both murderous and decrepit. On the other hand, Edmund appears to think the house is beautiful. He even complimented the moulding. Perhaps he is attracted to the house. I really need to figure out how hairy, horse-like and house-like the heroine is. Perhaps that might provide another clue for who the male lead of this novel is. You looked exhausted, Jade. Let me brave this house for you. I will find the little cakes of your dreams. Okay. Off he's going. So I'm not supposed to follow after him? I thought you wished for a moment to think. Oh, is it time for one of our chats again? Did you not wish to speak with me? I thought you welcomed our conversations. It is pleasant to speak with you when you are not reminding me of my imminent doom. However, we did not speak at all that long ago. Does that mean that you are here with an ominous warning? You are very good at ominous warnings. No. Is it a cryptic message? I'm already so confused that a cryptic message could not upset me further, so provide the message. Fine, I might have been curious about your thoughts. My thoughts? Are you curious about whether I have found even more murderous objects or had any more ominous revelations? I do think I should be aware of the naughty bush. Who do you find the most attractive? What? Who do you find the most attractive? What? Why is the world going dark? Servant. How could you possibly be shocked? They are by far the most beautiful and most interesting person in this house. By interesting, what exactly do you mean? Who else would have such depth and knowledge about wainscoting and hardwood? I could listen to them talk about hardwood for years. Well, wainscoting is both beautiful and terrible. Only the wisest understand its dangers. I am so glad you understand. Surely you must see how magnificent Service looked when they were discussing how pillows are nearly as ominous as cushions. I have never been so engaged by someone discussing the ways I could die. No offense intended. None taken. I can see the appeal. I still do not understand why servants said they could not fulfill all my appetites after we went through the bedroom. Did they not know I would not be happy with just the house's apples to eat? Perhaps under different circumstances your servant might provide you with other delicates to taste. I do hope so. I'm getting thoroughly sick of apples. Or perhaps they will keep their taste to themselves unless you realise that what they offer is worth tasting. Seriously though, what was that? I asked you a question and you answered, like people do in the conversation. Most people in normal conversations do not have choices whispered in their ear while a voice makes strange noises, indicating there is a time limit to reply. You did not like my musical indication of your remaining time. I have been told that they are I have been told that my music is very unique. True, that is true, but why did you need to pressure me into a time limit anyway? The question did not seem like something that required me to think quickly. Besides, I thought you were going to stop forcing my choices. I was not forcing your choice, I promise. You just what? I am very impatient. I cannot wait very long to know such an important information. You think it is important to know who I am attracted to? I can understand the curiosity since I am a very lovable lady who has excellent taste and you probably wish to discuss your own attractions as well. Still, I am trying to avoid being murdered. I do not have time to contemplate how gorgeous everyone is. I must focus on the danger around me like the ominous warnings you previously provided. Danger? Like the danger hiding inside these men's trousers? What are you talking about? Oh, you mean the security measures that I was taking when I was searching for ominous cushions? Searching for ominous cushions? Is that what you were doing when you were looking over the men's trouser fronts? Yes, there are only so many places cunning men could store dangerous cushions to use as weapons. Trousers make the most sense. I am very concerned about stuffing. That is a valid concern. Unfortunately, I could not find any cushions no matter how hard I looked. So here I am, stuck with potpourri horsemen, the peeping hedgemen, and the human chandelier. So it seems. Can I not just lock them all in the room and have them prick each other? Your ability to find solutions to things that were not problems until you suggested them is remarkable. Like my investigative skills? No, your investigative skills truly are a work of genius. See, we have much more interesting conversations when we focus on ways to help me avoid danger. Why ask me stressful questions? So you are saying that if the question is focused on danger... What? Who is the most dangerous in the house? Servant. Servant. Interesting, you suspect the servant. What have they done to earn your distrust? Well, if you're going to disagree with my answer, you should not have given me such a ridiculous question. Forgive me, my lady, I was only trying to be of service to you. Were you, truly? I only wanted you to examine the dangers you face. Then I shall accept your apology and tell you what my investigative genius has revealed about servant. First of all, in bad romance novels, the servants are always scheming to destroy the people they serve. That seems very unfair to a group of common-born people who must live by the whims of their cruel masters. Oh, I agree. I think it is very unfair to write common-born servants as cruel schemers out to hurt their noble masters. Even so, many terrible novels write butlers as scheming murderers and maids as terrifying creatures more obsessed with polishing swords than even Edmund. I am not sure where common-born maids learn their sword skills, but they are obviously terrifying in these stories. I am sure that if you meet a maid in this house, they will be somewhat different. Does that mean the maid will not teach me how to prick people into submission? No, I will not be distracted. The servant is a major suspect because this is a terrible story would absolutely have someone say the butler did it and mean it. Besides, that is not the only reason I think service is highly dangerous. After all, during our very first meeting, servant said, well, it is beautiful hallway. You are welcome to stay in it as long as you like, so as long as you do not mind what comes out of the wallpaper when you close your eyes. How could that not be suspicious? You did not think their words were honest yet witty? You do not understand. I do believe servant was telling me the truth, and that terrifies me. What do you mean? Servant knows about the house and its dangers, so is servant trying to convince the house to work against me? Does servant want the house to devour me? That is not the only reason to be on guard around servant. Servant also said, in which case the secret of this house is that we barely have the wainscoting under control. Is the servant working with the wainscoting? I may be doomed. The very walls may attempt to swallow me. I admit that any fear of wainscoting is a reasonable fear. Exactly. Additionally, servant knows where I sleep and prepares my meals. If servant wants me dead, I will have to fight to avoid some horrible fate. Do you really believe servant is that powerful and yet you plan to fight anyway? Yes. Servant may be gorgeous, brilliant, and able to charm every object from cushions to wainscoting, but I will never give up. I am temporary Lady Jane Neville, and I will fight on the cushions, I will fight on the tea tables, I will even fight on the ceiling. I do believe, my lady, that you can turn this story upside down. Thank you, ominous voice, for helping me collect my thoughts. I admit that while I was skeptical about your questions, it did help me focus my investigative genius. That achievement justifies everything that I just experienced. Still, while I'm thankful for your support, I somehow feel worse than ever. After all, even if I know who the most suspicious and probably murderous being in this manner is, I have no concrete evidence against them and would no way defend myself should they attack me. What could I even do? Ask the house for a supply of apples to use as ammunition? If you continue to respect the wainscoting, that might be a viable strategy. But what if I do accidentally insult the wainscoting? What if I express the wrong kind of interest in hardwood? What happens to me if the house abandons me? My lady, life and death are two leaves of the same vine. To grow a leaf you want, you must first seed the vine. I appreciate your advice at consolation, or even worse, advice. But even more than that, I would appreciate a murder weapon, one that could use to fend off an attempt on my life. I say, does that mean that you are willing to kill any of the inhabitants of this house should they try to harm you? If I am being truly honest, no. Yet that terrifies me because I do not believe that my enemy would hesitate to kill me. Worse still, my enemy has to be one of the people who are pretending to care for me. It is cruel to be trapped in a narrative beyond your control. I thank you for your understanding. There is something horrifying about being trapped within a character that a story is determined to destroy. I do not understand why someone would enjoy creating a character doomed to be destroyed no matter what the character did. Unfortunately, there are those who believe that in order for themselves to win, someone must lose. What a cruel, wrong way to see the world. If my investigative genius succeeds, everyone around me succeeds. Why would anyone want to destroy that success? Well, some people are cruel and wrong. So what do you do when someone that terrible controls your fate? In the end, all anyone can do is make choices that reflect their values and decide what companion should join them on their journey. But what if one of those companions wishes to destroy me? You learn the hard way. Save the villainess. Okay. So, not a bad story. I enjoy the concept of it. The writing needs work. I would say the writing needs a lot of work. There's a lot of repetition. Things saying the same thing over and over. The way things are worded are off. But otherwise, I'm excited to see what it is in the long run. I just think a lot of the wording is almost childish in a sense. It comes off as someone who's trying to act smart when they're not. And I don't know, the constant use of investigative genius was just throwing me off. But otherwise, when it does come out, I will definitely be getting it because I want to see how it goes. I want to see the rest of it. I just think there's a lot that needs to be worked on in the meantime, and I do hope that the story will be developed further. But otherwise, very good story. But yeah, we will end it here as that is the demo over. And otherwise, I hope everyone has a beautiful day. I'll catch you all next time. Goodbye.